Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, it is that time. Shall we go ahead and get started?
I think so. Yeah,
Squeaking in at the
we are
last
ready.
second here. We'll jump right in though. Good morning, everybody. As you are just joining us here, if you're just joining us, we are going to be sharing. I'm here with Alberto this morning. We are going to be sharing about Europe 2025 season, and we want to talk to you guys about why you should know that it's not too early to book for Europe of 2025. So we've got a couple different key points that we're going to highlight, a couple different things we're going to be talking about. Um, I'm so sorry, Alberto, you are not listed on this slide with me. It's just me, the Super Christie.
Yeah, Super Christie. No problem at all.
That's my fault. I did not type that up, by the way. I'm not the
I
person
know.
who made it.
I know it was probably Alex. Super Christie.
It was Alex. It was
All right.
definitely Alex.
No problem.
Alex is manning the chat for us this morning, everybody. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. He's fantastic and he's going to answer everything for you without ever having to come to us about anything. So it's going to be perfect. But we are excited to get to talk to you about Europe 2025 and what kind of adventures you can experience with us in Europe. I know it seems like it's a long way out. We're like, oh my gosh, that's 12 plus months away. Christy, you're crazy. Why are you thinking this? But the reality is, there's so many great reasons to book early. Alberto, one of the reasons is our deposits. Will you tell us a little bit about what those deposits look like?
Yeah, exactly. Before getting into the deposits, I think, well, first of all, thanks for having me. And secondly, I think this webinar is spot on at the moment. Maybe, as you said, it's a bit early, but in some markets, we are starting to change the focus to 2025. We are starting our 2024 European season now. Some of the ships are coming to Europe. So that means that eventually we will have less and less availability and we will start to switch to 2025. So again, I think this webinar is perfect because in some weeks, we really, in some markets, will need to change focus. Other markets maybe won't be ready as well, maybe southern markets, but again, we will need to switch the focus. And deposits are a key thing because in most of the markets, we have lowered the deposits. These amounts that we see in the screen are common to all the markets. Then specific terms and conditions may vary by market, but the good thing is that in most of the markets we have lowered the deposit amount. So this, together with a very solid deployment plan that we have in Europe, will help to start anticipating. And again, anticipating is every year probably most important. We are a brand that has, let's say, support and reward anticipation, the early booking. So again, every year is more important and we need to educate the trade and educate the consumer to book in advance. And again, deposits and the deployment proposal that we have in 2025 will help to anticipate the sales.
Absolutely. And you said something else that was really quite crucial, I think, Alberto, is that you have more availability, right? The further out you book, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who are like, I've got a family of five or more, right? What do we do? How do we find a room that's going to fit us? And the real answer to that is you look early, right? The earlier you book, the better your odds of finding the perfect room option is going to be. So
Exactly, completely agree. Just to go over the deposits that I missed, the amounts is up to 5 nights is $100 euros. From 6 to 14 nights, that is the most common because mostly we book 7 nights is 165 USD or euros. And then for plus 15 nights is 490 euros or 500 USD. So yeah, if
perfect.
we can go maybe ahead to the next slide and we
Yeah,
can review the deployment proposal that we
maybe.
have in
There
Europe.
we go.
There we go. So this is the deployment we have in Europe for 2025. In terms of ships, it's very similar to 2024. We have 6 ships in Europe. And then capacity, I guess, is also very similar. It might vary depending on the ships. As just for example, in UK from Southampton, we have Independence that is slightly smaller than Anthem. But in the other hand, we have Allure that have more sailings than Oasis this year. So I think capacity is also very similar versus 2024. We have a very, I would say, solid proposal for the European season. We keep having, as usual, one Oasis class from Barcelona. That's very important because it shows that the company is still putting efforts and investing in Europe, placing one Oasis class in Europe. Not every region has an Oasis class, so that's, I think, very, very important. And yeah, we have some small changes versus 2024. So we might start maybe from Barcelona. In Barcelona, we will have an Oasis class, as I said, it's Allure of the Seas, doing 7 nights Western Mediterranean. And then we will have also Brilliance and Voyager. This is not like the real home port. They will be departing from this, from Barcelona, but it's not like Allure that is spending the whole season in Barcelona. Brilliance will be doing also Athens, 7 nights Athens. And then we will have Voyager doing the open jaws, so Barcelona, Ravenna, Civitavecchia, and Athens. Then if we go to the north, we have Southampton. We have Independence of the Seas in Southampton. I think Independence was in the past in the UK, and it was very popular in the past. Like, I read a lot of comments of people saying they miss Indy. But I think Anthem did very well also in the last years. But we have Independence of the Seas, a Freedom class, back in Southampton. And for the EMEA markets, I think it's very important to think about this ship, because it will be basically the only option that we have for the North Europe. So if we are thinking about Northern European itineraries, Independence is definitely the ship to consider. Then we have Civitavecchia. In Civitavecchia, we have also Allure doing the interporting from Civitavecchia. We will have Odyssey of the Seas, that this is, I think, the 4th year from Civitavecchia, so a very well-known ship, doing Greek island. And then we have Voyager of the Seas, as we mentioned, doing the open jaws. If we go to Ravenna, we have Explorer of the Seas, 3rd year of this ship, so already a consolidated product in Ravenna. Explorer of the Seas will be doing 7 nights, either Adriatic or Greek island. And then we have Voyager of the Seas also doing the open jaws. And then finally, we have Athens. This is one of the news and big updates for 2025. We will have Brilliance of the Seas back in Europe. It's a Radiance class, doing 7 nights Greek island and Turkey. And I think it's doing overnight in Istanbul, definitely one of the highlights. And then Voyager again with the open jaws. So I think very, very strong deployment for next year. And yeah, again, I think it's very positive that the company keeps investing in Europe for us. So very positive.
Absolutely. This is a great layout of all of the different options that we have and what's coming over. So we'll dig into each of the ships a little bit more in just a few minutes here. Next, we have a video that we want to share with you about our top 5 destinations in Europe to go explore and see and travel. So enjoy the video. All right, so some of our top 5 locations for visiting Europe, getting out and seeing the sights and really enjoying the area. Just because you live in this area does not necessarily mean that everyone has been to all of the places, right? Remember too that we're in travel, so we tend to get out a lot. And so we're more likely to have seen some of these places. So use your experiences to help talk to your customers about what they want to experience in the different ports of call. There's so much just on our back doorstep, right? I spent a lot of years traveling the US because there's so much to see and do. And now I get to move over here and experience over here. So make sure that you're talking about all the different locations. Allure of the Seas, going out to Barcelona and Rome. We've got picture to picture of the image is a picture of Naples in Italy. So one of the stops that we do on a regular basis, Allure of the Seas is going to be going in for amplification in 2025. She'll come over, I think, Alberto, keep me honest, but I think she's coming over in February. She'll go in for about 8 weeks of dry dock.
Exactly.
Comes out right before Easter. right? So we've got that first sailing that's going to be our Easter sailing. So she's going to be amplified. Now we haven't heard yet what the amplification is going to look like, but I personally would be very shocked if we don't have slides added on. That'd be a miss, I think, if we didn't get that. So we can expect that she'll be going in for that dry dock that we are all excited to see. So she'll be ready, fresh and ready for the European season. Then we have Odyssey of the Seas. Odyssey of the Seas is going to be doing a lot of Greece, which is very exciting. Santorini, Mykonos, Hania. I just recently learned how to pronounce that because I'm going there in a couple weeks and I have to get it right. um, Lots of different amazing locations in Greece and then also Turkey and Italy to explore, to experience. Odyssey of the Seas is, like Alberto said, this will be her 4th season here. It's only her 4th season altogether. She's one of the newest ships in our fleet. She actually came out in 2021 and spent a few months just cruising around by herself without any guests on board because of the timing that we were in. And so she is technically considered a quantum ultra class ship, which means that we have a unified dining room again. So you've got the couple stories with all of the people in there enjoying the main dining venue, but she's also got a lot of those fun, exciting features like the North Star, that glass capsule that goes up 300 feet above sea level. You've got Ripcord by iFly, which is our skydiving simulator on board. You've got the Seaplex, which is going to do dodgems or bumper cars. You've got basketball in there. You can do roller skating. So lots of different activities that happen in the Seaplex. Of course, we've got a couple different performance venues on Odyssey of the Seas. So you got your main theater, but you also got your 270 venue, which is really a amazing venue. Everyone who I've ever talked to who's gone to a 270 show is like, I went back again because it was such a good show. So definitely worth seeing. This ship is designed for those warm weather locations, and she is absolutely a joy to have around. And everyone who I've talked to who's been on Odyssey is just thrilled to get to go back on Odyssey again at some point. Alberto, do you have anything to add on
Yes,
Odyssey?
yes, I've been on this ship, and in my case, for the Italian market, I manage the Italian market. Is our second most sold ship, and I would say one of the highlights or key selling points is that is a perfect combination, as you said, between hardware and then destination. Because if you look at our competitive market, most of the ships that are visiting the Greek island are not or new or big or as beautiful as these ships. So normally are older ships or smaller ships. In our case, as we home port from Civitavecchia, not in the north of Italy, we are allowed to place a bigger and newer ship. And it's a perfect combination between the hardware and then the destination, because we are always calling at Santorini and Mykonos that normally everybody that goes to the Greek island want to call at those two ports. So again, we don't have to give up on the ship. We have a very, very good ship, and then at the same time, very strong destinations. And then I think it's also very positive that it's the 4th year, because that gives continuity to the experience that we are offering on board. So the ships and the staff is very, let's say, already habituated or used to our European guests, and then they get more and more experience. So they keep improving on that service as well. So definitely a very good option, I would say. That's one of my favorites here in Europe.
Yes, I'm so excited. I get to actually go on Odyssey in just a couple of weeks here. I got a cruise, and
Wow.
I'm very excited to come back and share my experiences too. So it's going to be amazing. I did see that we had a hand go up. We don't have the ability to unmute people, but I think if you have questions, please go ahead and drop those in the chat. Again, Alex is monitoring that, and if we need to ask questions, we'll absolutely get those answered out loud if we need to, but he's answering them in the chat also. All right, Explorer of the Seas. Now, this ship and the next one, both Explorer and Voyager, are two of my favorites because I think they really hit a really nice niche area because they've got your water slides, you've got your ice skating rink, you've got your flow rider surf simulator. So you've got all these different fun activities for the family to experience during the sea days, during the rest of the time when you're just hanging out. But these ships are still small enough that they're going to have some very itinerary rich options. They're going to get to see a lot of amazing ports of call, a lot of different places that you might not necessarily just travel to. but places that you want to see nonetheless. So we got Explorer of the Seas doing those 7-night Greek Isles, Greece and Croatia, and Greece and Adriatic sailings. And then you've also got Voyager of the Seas doing those open jaw sailings. And she's got a really nice mixture of a ton of different destinations and locations. Um, Lots of Greece heavy, but absolutely gorgeous locations to go see in Greece, and then a lot of other locations as well. Alberto?
Yeah, maybe on Explorer. Explorer is the most selling ship for the Italian market as it's a local deployment from Ravenna. And I had the opportunity to visit Explorer last year. I did a couple of ship visits, and I have to say it's very well maintained. Like we actually, it went to dry dock before last year's season, so we put, as you said, the water slides on, and it worked very well. And again, it's a product that is having experience for the local markets because it's the third year in a row. And probably if I would highlight another thing is the price point. Probably Explorer and Voyager from the price point of view, that you can find maybe some cheaper, let's say,
Less expensive,
options, but
less expensive.
less expensive, let's say. Yeah, that's more accurate. But you still find availability because obviously Explorer is already busy for the peak season. So
So start looking at 25 now, because now's when
so
you can find those
exactly.
prices
So
and the room.
that's the
Yes,
message.
yes. Oh man, look at that view. Like, doesn't that just look amazing? Don't you just want to go there and spend the day? I do. Anyone else?
Beautiful. Yeah, me too.
Yes. So these two ships are amazing ships with all of the amplifications that we've done, and then the ports of call that you can get to. And like Alberto just said, the pricing, right? This is where you can find that nice middle ground of like comparing to Icon versus like not. These are going to give you a lot of those fun features and benefits on board to keep the family entertained, but also get you some absolutely amazing itineraries. All right, and then next year we have Brilliance of the Seas. Brilliance of the Seas is coming over um, into the southern area of Europe as opposed to the northern area of Europe. So she's doing our Mediterranean also. Uh, Her sister ships are Jewel of the Seas, which is here right now, doing Northern Europe, and she's going to be doing Greece, Cyprus, and Turkey, as well as Greek Isles and Turkey. Brilliance of the Seas is a smaller ship. She's one of the smallest ships in my fleet. That means that she's a nice mid-range ship in the world of cruising. And she is going to be able to get into some really ideal locations as well. Just get out and see some great locations. Alberto?
Yeah, I completely agree. I probably would highlight from Brilliance the fact that it's doing overnight in Istanbul. I think that's really a highlight. That's very, very appealing. And
Amazing.
yeah, and I think Voyager is also doing, not in all the itineraries, but in some of the itineraries, is doing also overnight in Santorini. That is another key selling point, very, very important. And Brilliance of the Seas, as you said, is Radiance class, is smaller, it's a bit maybe older, but again, the service, the itineraries that this ship is calling, is unbeatable. So, yeah, I think that's the beauty of our deployment. We mix, big, small ships, maybe ships that are more focused on features on board, ships that are more focused on the destination. So definitely
Absolutely.
Brilliance is for adventure seekers and destination lovers. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
like
And
it
those
as well.
people who want that higher level of service, like you just mentioned too,
Yes,
right? There's less people on the ship, and they're going
absolutely.
to get to know you better. They're going to get to the crew, the staff are going to take really amazing care of you on board a smaller ship like Brilliance, because there's just less people to know, and they're going to do such a good job. You're going to walk away feeling like you're leaving friends behind when you leave the ship. Independence of the Seas. This is our Northern Europe option. And of course, I've got a picture of a southern destination because we might as well highlight that, right? I'm I live in the UK now. It's gray most of the year, so I'm always looking for those sunshine pictures. One of the nice things about Independence of the Seas that I think is just a huge highlight is that we're getting some shorter itineraries. So we've got those 2, 3, and 5-night itineraries, which is really, really ideal for those new to cruise guests, those people who aren't yet convinced that cruising is the right choice for them, and they want to kind of take a taster of it. They want to get out and experience it before they actually commit to a full week of holiday on board a ship. So having some of those nice short sailings is really a great option to get to see a little bit of what the cruising lifestyle is like. And so CLIA has a statistic that I want to say it's 86% of people who cruise will cruise again. So once you get them on board, 86% of your customers are going to be coming back and saying, let's book our next cruise. When are we going to do our next cruise? So great opportunity. And of course, we've talked about the next cruise desk in an earlier session, so you guys know to talk about that. But just some really nice itineraries. We do have a couple of longer itineraries on Independence, going down and seeing, doing the Spanish Flair itinerary, and then also the 12-night Canary Islands. So you can get down into those warmer locations a little bit as well. And Alberto, isn't there an overnight in Portugal on this one as well?
Maybe. I'm
Lisbon,
not sure, to
maybe?
be honest. I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I
I'm pretty
need
sure
to
there's
check.
a Lisbon overnight, which is exciting.
But Independence, I haven't been on Independence, but I've been on Freedom Class, and I would say it's very perfect combination between size, people. You know, Freedom Class is one of the most loved classes that we
Yeah.
have, and again for the EMEA markets, I think Independence will be key next year because we don't have Jewel from Amsterdam as we have in 2024. So if we want someone to do North Europe, or more specifically uh, the Norwegian fjords, Independence of the Seas will be the options. So again, very important to book in advance. We don't have so many sailings in the Norwegian fjords in 2025, so those will be probably very busy or very booked in advance. So again, it's key to start thinking about Independence and
And
those sailings.
the 2024 Norwegian fjord sailings are already quite full. I know from experience at looking at them. So now we're looking at 25. If you want to find those spaces, I'm just throwing it
I
out there
know
for you.
too because my staff request, so my employee cruise request is for Jewel August 10th, and that's almost fully booked. So I don't know if I will be
Yep.
able to join that one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was
absolutely.
trying for Anthem this year for May, and yeah, wasn't gonna happen. Wasn't gonna happen. I was like, all right, I'll go to the warmer weather then. All right,
Well,
twist my arm.
we have options. We have options, Christy. So
Yes. Yes, we do. I do love that Independence, Voyager, and Explorer are all very similar ships as far as some of the features and benefits and the sizes and destinations. They really make great options for those family at holidays. All right. Alberto, tell us a little bit about what we have in our marketing materials.
well, we have prepared a lot of marketing assets. You have a QR code on the right down corner, and I think maybe Alex will be able to paste the link to access the assets.
Yes.
But again, we have prepared a lot of assets. They are in language, so we have in English, Italian, French, and German, if I'm not wrong. And then we have very complete assets depending on what we want to promote. We have the European flyer. You have it on the left side. It's very short, but again, very focused on the European Sailings 2025. I particularly like that one a lot. So if you want to download it, you can start to use it and promote it. Then we have different assets by ship with the, let's say, technical part of each ship and what is doing in each itinerary. And then we have social assets. We have emailing as well if you want to start promoting this to the trade or to the consumer. So again, have the time to download or to scan the QR code and just browse all the assets that we have. And again, we have it in language. So we will keep producing more assets in 2025. But I think this is a very good starting point to start speaking about 2025 and promoting in social, emailing, and in the trade as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So tell us who our customers are. Who are we looking at? What's our
Yeah,
profile?
yeah, yeah. Alex helped us to pull some data. So we pull all the data from since 2022 in European sailings. And the first thing that we spot is the APD. APD in European sailings is improving year on year. We see in 2024, especially APD is very, very strong. But as an average, we have $182. APD, probably everybody in the call know what it stands for, but it's average per diem per person. So again, $182 is a very strong APD, is very good result. So again, that's another sign that booking Europe is very profitable and very interesting to book for also our partners. Then, well, let's say the profile that we see in the European sailings is 39 years old person. The booking window is 5 months, 5.4 months on average, but I would say probably in 2024, this booking window will be longer, will be bigger, because we've seen more bookings in advance. And for 2025, hopefully will be even bigger again, because the trend is people are booking more in advance. So probably that average will grow. And what we see is also 47% are couples and 47% are families. Rest of is basically singles. The generation we see 26% is Gen X, 23% are under 18, and 22% are millennials. And then we also spot that the most demanded popular sailings since 2022 are the ones that we see in the slide. So Odyssey from Civitavecchia, 7 nights Greek island, peak season, so August 13, and then Oasis Class also July and August. Wonder in 2022 had a very strong season, so the most demanded sailing was Wonder July the 10th, and then last year we have Symphony also with the most demanded and most popular sailing that was Symphony August 13. But again, obviously these ships also have more capacity, so it's normal that they are the most popular sailings. But then when we go to markets, we have specific cases like Italian or Germany, where Explorer is one of the key ships. So again, the importance of having a very strong and a very complete deployment in Europe. And I think, and I truly believe that in 2025, we have it.
Absolutely. We absolutely do. You know, one of the things that I have found in my time here at Royal Caribbean is when I'm talking to people about cruising and they come to me and they're like, "What can I do? What good options are there at the last minute?" I had my cousin ask me just the other day. She's down in Portugal right now walking the El Camino Trail. And she's like, "Hey, are there any good cruises right now?" And I'm like, "No. Like there's great cruises, but I can't help you get on a ship. I don't have the ability to kick someone else off so you can get on the ship. Our cruises are full, right?
Yeah.
We're sailing full. We tend to sail full. And so that's something to pay attention to, right? Like the further out you look, the more opportunities that you have, the more ability that you have to find the right fit for each and every customer and get them booking. Another great option is remember to tell them, like, I know you're going on your cruise for 2024. Let's talk about 2025 today. And then when you're on the ship, swing by the next cruise desk, get your reduced deposits, get your extra savings, get your it'll combine with all of the different offers and go ahead and book your next cruise while you're on your 2024 sailing and remind them that that's a good option. And if you pre-shop ahead of time and know what they want, they can go right on board the ship and find it. So I think that's really a great option. All right. Well, we're basically at the end. We've got a couple things left. First up, I want to ask that you guys will fill out this form for us. Let Alberto and I know what you thought of today's session. Alex just dropped that link in the chat for you as well. So if you don't have your phones handy, that's okay. But we do love to get that feedback from you. I send that on to my boss so that she can see all of the things that are happening and what you guys think. Do you have changes that you want to see? Did we miss anything big? And if there's enough stuff that we're talking about that is fitting what you guys need. And then we do have 2 more sessions. So we have our trade pre-cruise planner session that is going to be on the 9th of May. So do keep in mind that that's a couple of weeks out now. We've got a week off. That's going to be at 10 a.m. That's UK time zone. And then we have trends in sales, and that is going to be me and Gianni, who is the AVP for the EMEA region. So he will be joining me. We'll be talking at 11 a.m. on the 14th of May. So we've got 2 great sessions coming up, and that will conclude our spring Europe University sessions. So we just want to make sure that we thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out and chatting with us, and we hope you've learned a lot today.
Thanks, everyone.
So
See you next time.
till next time.
Bye.